Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to review the WalkingPad X21 treadmill. This treadmill is a folding treadmill, meaning if we're not using it, it actually gets folded on itself and you can put it under your bed and put it away even in the closet without taking that much space. But then when you need it to do some runs or even some walks, this is going to unfold itself to become a full-size treadmill. This is TK and this is my review of the WalkingPad X21 home treadmill. Let's check it out. Like and subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified whenever we have new videos on the channel. So the X21 today is a folding treadmill. This is not the first treadmill that I've reviewed from WalkingPad. A couple of years ago I reviewed the R1 Pro from them. Now that one was on a Kickstarter and since then the company's actually flourished and they have now way more options available for them. But the X21 is a unique one as well. It's a little bit different. It resembles the R1 Pro, but the difference here essentially is that the handlebar is a little bit more rigid. Now as far as the unpacking experience is pretty much straightforward. It is well packaged and definitely gets delivered safely. If there's any issues, there's enough foam in there to actually absorb any kind of issues that may happen. But overall, unpacking is pretty straightforward. You take out a couple of straps at the top and then remove the packaging, the box packaging, and then the foam. And overall, everything else is pretty straightforward. It almost 100% put together. The only things that are not attached to it are obviously the safety strip that allows you to actually have the ability if somebody falls or something like that, it stops the treadmill. And then of course there's also a nice little tray that enables us to actually put, let's say, a smartphone or a tablet when we're running or walking on it. The other things, of course, they give us a small wrench to adjust the belt and of course a little bit more lubrication and the instruction manuals in case you need them. Now there is an app that you can use to control this and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But other than that, I think it's pretty much straightforward. The actual treadmill itself takes very little space when you don't need it, and it does have wheels on the bottom to be able to basically roll it away and put it away if you don't need it. For me, I like to put it in my closet because that actually fits very nicely. It's not too tall, but it sits to the back of the closet and it makes it very easy for me to actually access it when I need it. Now you're able to put it under your bed or in any other situation where you have that much space and it doesn't actually necessarily become an eyesore whenever you're not using it. And I think that's the benefit here with these type of treadmills, is that you're not necessarily having to look at them when you don't need them. Now, as far as the functionality and what we get here, this treadmill has functionalities to go basically as far as speed, all the way up to 12 kilometers as far as speed, but of course you're able to slow it down. Now, as far as control, what we get here essentially is there's a control knob at the top that enables us to actually start and stop the treadmill. And so you don't necessarily need to use the app. But if you do want to use the app, there's an NFC tag on the right side of the actual armrest, and then you can actually NFC pair that to your smartphone. And you just need to download the KS Fit tab. This is available directly on the Google Play Store. And this enables you to actually control it. So once you pair it once, the normal process goes on right away. The moment you turn on your smartphone, open up KS Fit, the application syncs directly back to the treadmill, and it's also able to keep track of your runs. And I think that's one of the main benefits that we have in here. But you don't need necessarily to use the app. You just need to be able to get used to the jog dial. The button itself is pretty straightforward. Press it once, starts a 3, 2, 1 countdown, and it starts at about 1 kilometer speed, or 0.1. And then you can also increase it by percentages, not just necessarily by straight full numbers. And I think that's also one of the big differences than some of the other treadmills on the market. Most of them jump from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. This one jumps by 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. So as you're spinning the dial, you see the percentage go up. And I think that's also a very nice option. You can also control the app directly or the speed through the app, and that gives you that same functionality, and it gives you also the ability of jumping in if you want to jump with increments basically of 1, 2, and 3 as opposed to the 0.1, 0.2, and 0.3. So again, a lot of flexibility, and you can configure the app to be either specifically to either focus on time, focus on speed, or focus on cadence. So there's a lot of other things that you can also do in here that I feel like the original R1 Pro didn't give me that functionality. The reason I mentioned it is that the R1 Pro that I had at the time did not work with an app. It was supposed to, but it never worked for me. So for me, for the last couple of years that we've been using the R1 Pro, it's been basically used with the remote and the automatic walk. This one does not have an automatic detection, so you have to basically use the app or the button to configure it and run it. And then overall, I think it works pretty nicely. I will say though that the tray that we have available with this is not unfortunately is not strong enough to hold something because it doesn't have any edges on the side. So if you're going to use something like that, my recommendation is to have maybe something a little bit holding it down, or just something that is not as heavy and center it in the center. So that should hopefully help you out. Running on this, obviously, there's no issue. Just make sure you have enough padding under it in case it's making too much noise. It is not very loud, but I'll go ahead and show you guys a quick clip of the audio again of how does this treadmill sound running at full speed. Now, mind you, by itself, it sounds like it's very loud, but if you're on it and you're running, and of course, or you're listening to music, this is absolutely not going to make any difference. It's not, nobody's really going to have a problem with it. And again, that was at the maximum speed. If you're considering running at a lower walking speed, there should be no issue. And for me, the way I've been using it, we have a little bit of a gym mat that goes under the actual treadmill. It helps also with absorbing some of the sound. But otherwise, when you're done, all you have to do is fold the bottom part on top of itself. And this one, which is a little bit different than the R1, it doesn't actually go all the way up with the actual mechanism. The base, which is at the top of the treadmill, stays stationary on the ground, and everything else goes up to it. Once you connect it to the top, it actually locks itself. There's a little handle on the side that you actually have to pull on to be able to bring it down or take it out. And then you're pretty much set. Put away your cables, and of course everything else is pretty much set. You can put it in the closet and bring it back out when you need it. And I think that's the main benefit. First and foremost, I really like this type of treadmill. These are great treadmills if you're looking for compact, easy to access, and exercising whenever you need it, and putting it away whenever you don't. If you want to leave it, it looks great. It has a very nice design on it, but again, at the end of the day, it gives you that flexibility. I do want to say thank you very much to WalkingPad for allowing me to check this out. This was sent to me to review, and I've been using it for the last couple of weeks. So the experience here is, again, coming from over 2 years of using an R1 Pro to basically now using an X21. So it looks really nice, and it really just builds on the evolutionary progress that I've been hoping. Now, if you've stayed with me this long in the video, I am really happy to share with you guys that they are sharing with me a coupon for the X21 treadmill, and it's $100 off with just using the code TKBay. If you like that, please make sure to check that out, and it'll definitely give you a decent price on that. And of course, you'll be able to get a lot of the benefits there. This one should be available from a year from the point this video is made. So if you're watching this video beyond a year, unfortunately, the coupon may not be available, but I'm sure they'll have other options and other things that are available for us to be able to actually check out and look into there. They sell accessories and a whole bunch of other things as well for their treadmills. Like and subscribe as usual. Thank you very much for the support. I'll see you in the next one.